Welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys for hanging with me on this Wednesday. Now, you're going to hear a lot of people talk about jig fishing and keeping it simple in the same sentence. And the reason for that is there are days where a jig just does not work. You need a special day for that to be the predominant technique. And if you are going through your box trying to find the perfect color, you're going to waste a lot of time that you could be using something else. So when it comes to jig colors, I have a dirty water, a clear water, and then something in between, because you're not going to have a perfect condition always for black and blue, and you're not going to always have a perfect condition for that really natural brown green pumpkin color. So I do have an in between, but I'm going to go through all my colors that I use. And again, simplification is key. So guys, I want to thank you for watching this video. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, please do. That helps me and the channel out a lot. If you left me a comment, I will get back to you on that. And thank you guys for liking these videos and watching them. That is big to me, and I really do appreciate that. So we'll start with black and blue. Now, this is going to work in all water clarities. You know, there are different situations. Maybe you're flipping it under a dock. Maybe you're skipping it back underneath the shade line. So black and blue does not just work in stained or tannic water. This is also a clear water color, just kind of depends on the situation. If it's clear water, I usually put a green pumpkin trailer on there, so you kind of have a conflict, or a contrast rather, of colors. And that's a natural color, but this is going to be your bet in stained water. And if it's very little visibility, I will go with a sapphire blue. Now, we're keeping this simple. In clear water, we could be the same situation, high pressure, sunny days. I like to go with my more natural colors, even if it is a little bit stained water. So your green pumpkins, maybe a little bit of orange, a little bit of brown in there, and that's all you need. So when you watch most jig videos, you're gonna need a natural color and you're gonna need a black and blue. When I'm trying out a new jig, I'll buy 3 or 4 black and blues, 3 or 4 crawfish color, green pumpkin, bluegill imitators, and that's it. And when I'm starting to get bites, then I realize I need to have some in between, because you're not always going to have the perfect water clarity for both of those two colors. So I go with something with a lot of chartreuse in it, blues, oranges, but still natural. You know, if you look at a warmouth, this is what a warmouth looks like. That's a very natural panfish, brim style fish that is always swimming around in shallow water no matter where you're at. So this is going to stand out a little bit better. It's going to imitate not just the warmouth, but it has kind of that bluegill look to it as well. So when I'm flipping and I'm fishing slow and the water has a little bit more visibility than I like for black and blue, this is what I go with. Now, will this work in clear water? Will this work in really dirty water with very little visibility? Yes. That all kind of depends on the day and the lake you're on, because every lake's going to have different forage, and you got to try something a little bit different, because you will find that they just love specific colors on certain lakes. But again, what you will do if you try to use 8 or 10, 12 different colors, you'll be confusing yourself and wasting time, and you're not necessarily in jig water, or your lake is not fishing where you should be catching them on a jig. So I think that's very important. Simplify this. Keep it as basic as you can. If they don't bite those 2 or 3 colors, move on to something else. It's probably not the jig color, it's the jig, and you need to go to a soft plastic if you're flipping or something like that, where you know the fish are on cover. And if they're not, or if you can't get them to bite that, or you just want to skip that all together, maybe it's a not on cover type deal. They're chasing bait, something like that. So when I'm flipping and I'm fishing a jig slowly, it's 3 colors. Now, when I start swimming a jig, I'm going to lean more into the shad imitators, but when I'm flipping or fishing it slow on the bottom, bluegill, crawfish is what I'm trying to imitate with my jig. So try that, guys. Good luck to you, and I'll see you on the water.